What's good, people? Welcome to Bucking Around, powered by Exs and Os. We're back at it again. You know how the thing's set. It's your boy Emeka, aka the Bronze Bomber, as usual. Not too happy. Man United lost on the weekend, but we won't get on that. SJ, unfortunately, is an Arsenal fan. SJ, you got my right hand man as usual. SJ, aka the analyst in the building as usual. With what are you wearing today? You're wearing an Arsenal shirt, as I can see
I'm
there.
wearing a limited edition premium top of the
Here we
table
go.
Arsenal shirt. You know,
Here we go.
for the very
Here
few
we
people.
go.
I don't think you're allowed one of these. Unfortunately, you have to take the third place one. Oh, it's tough down
Yeah.
there. It must be tough.
I'll tell you a secret. I'm a hardcore Man United fan, but you wouldn't believe that. One fun fact that people don't know about me is I used to be an Arsenal steward for the longest ever, for like 5-6 years. No one ever knows. No one knows that about me.
Is that how you
As
let
much
that
as I hate
line?
Arsenal,
Is that where the blocking game comes?
trust me, the amount of stick I got at that club being a Man United fan was abusive, man. It was too abusive, so I had to leave, man. The banner was too much, but yeah. What's good, people? We hope you're all good. Like I said, as usual, like, share, subscribe on all things at X's and O's team. You know how the thing's set. We're here to provide you with the most up-to-date, most recent, the tunes and throw-ins of BUCs American football. So please like, share, subscribe. For all you people in the free seats, we see you as usual. You know how the thing's set. You know how things go. Put a comment in the super chats, and we'll endeavour to, as much as possible, to get round to those that are PG as possible. So keep them PG as possible. But if you don't put a comment, but like I said, we won't share it. But oh well, that's how it goes. Got to keep it PG. But yeah, SJ, what's happening? What's been happening around the league? Any shock results for you this weekend?
A few. Let's work our way up. Let's start down in Division 2. Okay, so Division 2, we see in the Midlands, Div 2 Midlands, probably arguably one of the toughest divisions we've got. So you've got Derby in there, you've got Nottingham in there, you've got two relegated teams in Leicester and ARU. The big result being Leicester beat the Green. So that now sets up final game of the season, Leicester against Derby, to potentially decide who goes up. That's a big one. That's one to watch out for. So that's in a few weeks. That's my biggest one in Div 2. Also, Kings. Kings have finished their undefeated season 6-0. So shout out to Junior and the team over there. That's a nice one up into Div 1 Southeast, I believe. So fun times for them next year. And then Div 1, big shocks all over the place. Southwest, chaos. Bournemouth take their first L since pre-COVID.
Woo!
So they are now, I believe they are 4-1. 3-1. So still in the driver's seat. Seat.
Yeah.
But it's looking tough over in that division now because Bristol lost as well. So now everyone's in it. Everyone is in it in that division. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
But then moving on to the Prem, Leeds, Beckett, and then goal.
Oh dear.
Boy, that was a game.
Dear.
That was a game.
Yeah.
So Nottingham came away with that game, but more importantly, they come away with a head-to-head. They got more points on. They got more points on Leeds, so now they're back in the driver's seat. So that sets us up for a nice finish there. The other game, we had Durham and Newcastle. We'll talk about that one in a little bit.
Yeah.
So Newcastle won the first leg. Durham bounced back and won the second one. But I'm hoping the guys we've got today can tell us a little bit more about that game.
Yeah. Most definitely. Yeah.
I think we get
Man, it's hotting up now. It's hotting up in the league now. Like you said, like you predicted.
Season. I love it.
This is the second half. Yeah, you're right. This is the second half. This is where there's a true test of man management. This is the true test of some people eat too much Christmas pudding, and some people eat too much Christmas dinner.
Do you know what? Boy. This is where you see the experienced players shine. Because they're the ones that want it more than anything. I think that's when you get to this point of the season. It's not about who's got the best. I mean, it helps having the best scheme and all that kind of stuff. It helps having, Americans and whatnot and so on. Yeah. But sometimes it comes down to who wants that win more. So when you get to the playoffs, you'll find some shock results solely because it's just a team that just wants that win more. If you're a final year, you want to go off on a high. So that's where I think it's going to get spicy. These next 5 weeks. If the snow and everything stays away, it's looking toasty.
Wow, man, BUCs is fine. You heard it here first. BUCs is looking toasty. Shout out to Gary Lineker. But anyway, we got we got our special guests in the building. Like I said, we got Matt and we got the infamous Eden in the building from Durham University. Durham State University. What's good, guys? How's everything? How you keeping? How you holding up?
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, I had the game yesterday. Obviously won, so that makes it a good week.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah,
it's just
100%.
nursing all those post-game injuries. You know what I mean?
I know.
It's the day after where you wake up and it's just.
I know. It never gets old. Put it that way. It never gets old when the DOMS kicks in every day after. Like,
it's worse.
I know.
It's so much worse.
I know.
It's only my fourth year playing. I remember after finishing the game in first year, I felt fine, but
yeah. I know, man. So for those that don't know, Eden and Matt, Eden, you can go first. Introduce yourself. You know, tell the people in the free seats, some of the fans in the free seats that don't know you, who you are, what you do, maybe what you study at uni. You know, what university you go to. Obviously, you should know you go there. Just a bit about yourself.
My name
Some
is
people
Eden.
might not know. You know?
My name is Eden Feeder Palmer. I'm a physics student at Durham in my fourth year now. So yeah, I guess I played. This will be my third uni season. I played 2 senior seasons with Blitz.
Right.
Tight end.
Yeah.
That's basically it. Yeah.
No. Matt, what about you?
Not as exciting, to be honest. I'm a third-year student. I've played. This is my second season with Durham because my first year was the COVID year, and I've played about half a season with Blitz just because obviously uni going back and forth. I'm also team president at Durham. Okay.
Dope. So how are things going? Obviously, this season, you know, by all things, put together, hasn't been a great season. You know, some have touted that the Durham Saints are almost underachieving. You know, from what we're used to, from the levels that we're used to, and almost like the caliber of football that we're used to seeing amongst yourself. You know, probably one for you. You know, what's different about this year? Has it been a bit more difficult coming away from, you know, coming off the back of, you know, COVID? You know, what has it been this year?
I think like, you know, Uniball, I'd say, is largely decided by, especially in the Prem, returners and scholars, whether that's Americans or Brits. Like if you get a bunch of like master students who are English, like who play senior ball, you'll still be in a good position. And like with COVID losing years, NCAA's people getting extra years of eligibility. Quite a few people graduating from my year. So like last year, the lack of returners, that wasn't really a problem because there was everyone from my first year there. This year, you know, like as Matt said, this is Matt's second season playing, and he's in his third year. So the returners that you have, aside from all of us really, like I'm a year behind because I missed a season because of COVID. Matt, who's also in his third year, has like missed a year of uni ball.
Yeah, it's hard. It sounds like it's just a kind of hard situation where it's just, you know, kind of bad timing. But you guys have still kept it together. You know, you kind of kept it rolling. You know, it's been as much as possible business as usual. Still winning, still getting, you know, a couple of dubs here and there. Training. What's the vibe at training? Is it still the Durham that we're used to at training? Is it still the same level of intensity that kind of got you guys, you know, historically the national championship? Are we seeing that still that kind of same buzz around the camp?
Training's been good. Training's been really good. It's been a good chance for like, you know, whereas in previous years, like I'd have to let some because I was in a young year, let the older years like step in and help people out. It's kind of realizing that I'm one of the old people now at uni. So you know, because obviously you only have so many coaches, they can't help everyone. So when the OC or the receivers coach is looking at is talking to someone, I've got to be looking at the guy running his route, tell him help him out. So yeah, training's been good. Lots of guys who were like, you know, in their third year, like realizing they've got to like step in and just help coach.
Yeah.
Especially post-Christmas. Yeah, I think it's like our head coach, Coach Ketch, he's really lit a fire on us, like under us after Christmas, because he's really been emphasizing, like, you saw how it was before Christmas. Do you want to have the second half season go that way? And obviously, no, we don't. We want to come out like on fire and go hard.
I was going to say, so what, you've got 2 games left.
Yeah.
You're currently, I think, because Newcastle had that walkover against Leeds, you're currently sat in 3rd. So how do you think the next 2 games are going to go? Because I'd say, no disrespect to one of the teams you're playing, but you're playing 2 teams at the complete opposite end of the spectrum. You've got the Gold at one end, and then you've got Sterling, who unfortunately is looking very bleak for them at this point. So how do you balance it out going up against probably a team that you expect to go far, and then playing a team that is essentially fighting for their place?
I'd say, like, with the comparison, it's like with the Notts game, it's always a case of, oh, well, they've lost 1 game this season to Beckett. Like, why not another one? Like, when we played both our games against them last year, they were undefeated at that point. They didn't lose until I think it was their last game of the season. And we're like, oh, we'll be the one to knock them off. But now this year, it's like they've shown they can be beaten. And I think, we can do that.
Yeah.
And like with the Sterling game as well, it's always a case of, like, even if people are saying, like, oh, like, people have, like, it hasn't been looking great for them, it's always a don't underestimate anyone. Like, don't like give them a chance. Like, we want to win, we should win.
Yeah.
So obviously you have the privilege of going under the Friday night lights this week. So what are you saying? Is the vibe that, listen, all guns blazing? What's the mentality? Kind of going into that game. What's the mentality amongst the players? You got the likes of Eden, who's probably on his final year. Yourself in your 3rd year. What is the kind of general? Or your final year? Okay, right. So what's the kind of vibe? Is it all or nothing?
Yeah, I mean, we want to win every game we play. That's just the fact. And it's up to the first game against Notts, like first game of the season for us. We all historically, especially we've always started a bit slow. We get to training a bit later. We have a lot of new guys we have to catch up. So the second game, even if you just look at last year, the time we played Notts the second time, it was a far more competitive game. It was a crazy difference. I think the thing is, I was telling all the new guys at the start of the season, I'm Notts is one of the best teams in the Prem. So we need to be ready. And obviously you've got rookies and stuff, and they've played sport before, but you can't they can't really see it until they've played it. So there's only so much me and Matt and the other vets can tell everyone. They've had their first game against Notts now. They've played 4 more games after that. They know what's to come. It's just up to the vets on the team to just help everyone get prepared, give them good looks. I know, this week at training, I'll be trying really hard to just, push that defense, get them used to seeing something really tough. Make sure they're ready. Know that if they make a mistake, they've got to recover, keep going 100%.
So let's look at down the line then. 2 more games, and then we're looking at playoffs. If things all go, unless something catastrophically just goes completely wrong, you're going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
What's the mindset going into that? Because at the moment you're sitting in 3rd, so you're probably you'll be playing. Right, and saying Pride. Yes.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, obviously, you always want to go into the playoffs in the best seeding possible, and obviously being 3rd isn't ideal because it means we're playing, obviously, with UE and SGS being the top 2, and they seem to be kind of above the pack in the south. You ideally don't want to be down there, but it's a long trip to Bristol. Might as well make it worth it and come back with a win.
Yeah. Ketch's message to us, since we got back, was you go undefeated for this year, you win a national championship. Ultimately, the last half of the season doesn't matter before Christmas. If we don't lose any games this year, we'll win a national championship.
That's the best way of it. I've never heard it described like that. That's probably the best way you could probably actually put it. If you don't lose this year, you wouldn't win it all.
Yeah, 100%. So what are we saying, Eden? Are we saying potentially national championship this year?
Why not? Why not?
Okay, yeah.
In terms of recruitment for freshers this year, we've got some guys who've got a lot of potential. They've kept getting better and better. Even if nothing happens this year, I'm leaving Durham. I know next year, they'll be fine because some of the guys we got this year are looking really, really good. Obviously, as usual, it's not just uni ball, all senior ball. You want big guys. You need your offensive line, you need your defensive line, and we got some guys this year who are they will be good. They will be
100%.
very, very good.
Yeah. So who can we kind of who are a couple players that we should watch out for? Maybe in the kind of.
You've got to look out for Big Ben.
Oh, Big Ben.
Largest man I think I've ever seen in my life. He's 6'10". He's 6'10". He dwarfs me. He's our right tackle at the moment.
He's saying something, man.
Yeah,
he's come out
huge.
He never played any American football before. He's 18. He's a fresher. He had never played American football before this. We saw him at the freshers fair. Just immediately, he's like, "We want you. Please play for us." And
he's gigantic.
He's cute, and he's really taken to it as well. He's come in. He's been our right tackle the entire season. He came into the first Knots game, which was 23rd of October, with about 3 weeks worth of training. And he, for a guy on that little training, he did really well, and he's only gotten better. To the point where he's he's already got interest for playing for senior ball clubs already, and he's still 18, I think. I don't think he's even turned 19 yet.
Big things for Big Ben.
Yeah. Crazy, man. Crazy. What's obviously you're at the tail end of your time at Durham. What's Durham been like for you? How has Durham treated you? Because what's the vibe in Durham like? For those maybe thinking about coming to study at Durham, is it a place that that you can really kind of settle into? What's been your experience?
It's just it's a smaller city, obviously, to even call it a city. But I think the only way you can know if it's the place for you is if you visit. You have to go on an open day, especially if you're from London or a bigger city. You have to visit it because there's someone could tell me how what it was like, or how the size of it, how in the summer how it's quite picturesque. But you'd ignore it. You'd be like, whatever, man. Everywhere looks nice in the summer. But yeah, yeah. In terms of the team, I've loved it. It's comfortably my favorite part of Durham. I think I got here. I went to the rugby session. I spoke to people because I played rugby before, and I was like, oh yeah, this is all right. I'll probably do this. And then I had the American football session because my older brother played at Southampton, and he's always been telling me to try it. So I went to American football session. I was hooked. I bought in instantly. I loved it.
Yeah. Matt, how about you? What's your experience been so far? Your third year, so you're in your final year now.
Yeah.
Is there potential? Maybe a master's coming back. Is the pull factor too?
It's always on the cards. It's always on the cards.
Yeah.
But I'm a bit different. Obviously, my first year was the COVID year, so I didn't really get the traditional freshers experience. So it was a rough start to time with Durham. But since second year, third year, where the world's really opened up again, it's been really it's far more of because it's such a small place. I'm from London as well. It's such a small place that you go everywhere. You see someone you can just stop in the street, just have a chat to one of your friends, and it's just quite nice like that. And with American football, especially because Durham, one of the reasons I actually chose Durham of my offers is because of the American football. Because I've always loved the sport since I first saw it, and I knew I was a rugby player, but I realized uni rugby just isn't going to be for me. I thought I'm going to try American football. So I ended up between, I think it was Durham, Imperial, and Manchester as my top choice. And I thought, right, those three, what's the American football like there? And it was Durham. Yeah, Durham's the best one. Why not?
Not to speak.
Just based on where they are in divisions and everything, just based on that. And it's
it matters.
I was just you know what? I know I'm going to like my degree, but I've also got to enjoy everything outside of that.
Yeah.
And I know that
Yeah.
sport's going to be a part of that, so I might as well pick the place where I'm going to enjoy the sport the most.
Mm.
And
So that's really interesting.
Every minute of it.
So both of you really had a background in American football, I'd say, before you came here. Obviously, Matt, through your new, I don't know how you knew the sport, but obviously, Eden, you've got yourself, and you've got both of your brothers that play. Well, they don't play anymore. Well, one might talk about that. But yeah, what do you think? What difference do you think that brings to the team, having that experience before you've even got to the team? Do you think that's helpful for the coaches in some ways, or to the players?
I think it's helpful in terms of just kind of like, I'm not going to say I was like incredibly versed in American football, but kind of I just kind of knew the rules in terms of stuff like that. In terms of like, you don't have to come in from the very ground floor. Like you could say like a basic concept, like a flood play or something like that. I don't know what that's meant to be. I'm not going to be like, oh, I have no idea what's going on. But yeah, it's helpful just to have some basic understanding of like what is happening, what the positions are. Because we have guys on the team that like never even knew American football was a sport before they got here.
Yeah.
I knew it was a sport. I knew nothing about it. I knew absolutely, like my older brother played, to tell me about it went over my head. I knew nothing. Like he was talking to me before about positions. He was like, because I played rugby and I played second row, and like I scored a lot in rugby and I liked it there. And I played cricket for a bunch of years as well. So like I was fairly good at catching. And my older brother was like, "You need to play tight end." He was like, he was like, "You're too." He was like, "You're too." He was like, "There's no way you'll play receiver. You're too big." He was like, "You could probably play like O-line. You don't want to do that. You want to play tight end."
Yeah.
So I just listened to him. I learned as much as I could. I felt like I played fairly early in first year. I would not want to watch any of that tape. I was clueless. I remember one game I got into a 3-point when I was meant to be in the slot. It was ridiculous. The QB's yelling at me. He's like, "Eden, what are you doing?"
Man, my first game tape wasn't pretty either. I started out as a running back before I moved to receiver. We ran inside. There's an inside zone play. I think the A gap is about 3 yards wide, and I think I cut back into our guard, and I genuinely think my offensive coach might have had like an aneurysm with how hard he was yelling at me for that. Fair, to be honest, it's why I moved to receiver.
Yeah. Obviously, you both are coming to the kind of the end of your tenure at Durham. What would you say, just on the back of that, what would you say is your most memorable, kind of moment or experience at Durham? Yeah, playing at Durham.
It's hard to nail it down to one. It have to be between two. The probably most memorable has got to be in my first game that I started on offense, because I played special teams in my first game as like a shield on punt. And so on offense, like first game started on offense, first target, first catch, I caught a touchdown, like ran through a couple guys, someone grabbed my face mask, they pulled me down. It looked like I trucked someone. That's not what happened. Someone grabbed my face mask and just fell to the ground, so it pulled me down, and the next guy coming to make a tackle, I just lit them up accidentally. Basically stumbled into the end zone. And
it looks good enough on film that we use it in our promotional videos.
Oh mate, yeah.
And then that's probably like the most memorable, but I think my favorite moment must have been like the second game last year when we played Leeds, and I hadn't had much experience. I had half a season. No, I had half a season plus a senior season playing tight end, and I still didn't I still feel I could do it, but I didn't feel that confident in it. But in that second game against Leeds, such a good game, and I finished it, and but we lost, and that sucked. But I left that game, I was like, I could do this.
Yeah. Matt, how about you?
I'd probably say that it's from this year. It was our second game of the season, the Leeds Beckett game. We had a bunch of injuries on defense, so I ended up having to sub in at linebacker. So I'd had about one session training there. They were just like, "Matt, you've played rugby before, tackle." And I'm like, "Okay." And so they put me out there, And Beckett obviously were on their triple option type thing with a lot of like, just fake around in the backfield sort of stuff. And I remember they ran a toss to a wide receiver, but the QB kind of put it too far forward. It was like basically it was a forward pass, and I ended up managing to get my hand out and intercept it. And it was my first ever play on defense. And I was just generally just like, I got the ball. And I was so confused because I was just like, why is it there?
He would telling everyone that next week, everyone on defense, he's telling them, he's like, I got a pick.
Genuinely, like, because there's on the film of it, everyone's like swarming around me, and I'm just kind of like still really confused because I'm just like, we got the ball back.
Yeah. Man, that's mad. What's it like playing with? Obviously, put this one for you, Ian. What's it like playing with Gabriel Breverton? He's still around. He's still around.
Yeah,
right?
Gabe. Yeah.
Okay. What's it like playing with him? Because obviously he brings a lot. To the team, like yourself, Matt. You guys, one of the stalwarts in the team, the skippers. What does someone like Gabriel kind of bring to the team?
I mean, Gabe is great to have. Like, he's quite a naturally athletic guy. He played a lot of basketball before.
Okay.
I'd describe Gabe as annoyingly good because he's like,
that's
like he's a tall guy. He's athletic. Like, he's confident, and like he arrived and like he's got this like confidence about him, which at the start you're like, it's unjustified. He's not done it. Like, he's not done anything, and then he just straight away starts playing well, and you're like, God, it's so good to have him on his team, but he's just annoyingly good for someone with that little experience.
Yeah.
Like at any point, like I was just watching him play, and like he's just beating tackles constantly. Like the running backs always like got to be in protection on him because they're like, Gabe's going to beat the first guy. So
like because this year as well, we've had him playing a bit both ways. He's been subbing in like tackle and guard and everything. So there have been games where he hasn't basically had a rep off the field almost, other than like a few special teams plays, and it's just unreal just watching him just stay out there, get in the huddle, like on offense, just be like, what are we doing? Oh, run play, cool, block a guy, and then just go on defense and just like he just go on defense, line up, and just I'll get him.
Sack.
You want a sack? I'll get a sack.
Yeah. Man.
Sometimes I just tell him, I'm like, Gabe, I would love a sack. He's like, yeah, all right.
Crazy, man.
So what's the plan next for you guys? Obviously, Eden, you're down at Blitz. You're part of GB as well. Not too shabby. Matt, what's your background? Are you playing summer ball or?
Yeah, I play for Blitz as well. Obviously, last year was my
last year. Sitting up and down.
Yeah, last year was my first year. So Eden was he mentioned like, if you guys want to play over summer, obviously if you're in London, I play at Blitz. I can put a word in with the coach and come down and make some introductions. And I came down, loved every second of it down there. I played a couple games. I started for one of them. It was like one of my favorite moments is just because I had no clue it was going to happen when they were reading out the starters for the game. They were just like, "Oh, starting a slot, Matt." And I was like, "Wait, what? Me?" And it's like it's been great. Once the uni season's over and I've finished all my exams and everything like that, I'm definitely going to go back there and get more experience in, get back to training. Hopefully, I plan on sticking around at Blitz as long as I'm in London, really. So hopefully a full season next year. Won't make any claims about GB though. I don't think I'm on Eden's level quite yet.
Yeah. I hear you, man. I hear you.
What's the big difference then, would you say, between uni ball and senior ball? Obviously, I'm guessing the physicality is a big part to it.
I'd say more just experience more than anything. Like with it's like going from senior ball where you'd have like coaching sessions. Because obviously, I'm a complete rookie when it comes to Blitz. I've only played for like 2 years, but at Durham, I'm one of the more experienced guys. So I'm like helping rookies out with, this is how we like to make your cut a bit quicker, sort of thing. Whereas when I go to senior ball, I'm very much still like I'm the student there, where I'll be like, I'm not doing this right. Oh shit, here's something else to do. Can you do better?
Yeah, there's definitely a difference. I'm not sure. This might be a bit of a rogue take, especially between the like Prem and the upper part of Prem of uni ball. I don't think there's as big a difference as some people think. I think your top half of uni Prem ball would compete better than the lower half of, or at least on par. because like
Screen
there is a
that.
step up. there is a step up in physicality, but some teams, in Uniball, some years like you just end up with like experienced guys or bigger guys, like it just happens. Like our offensive line last year was it's just big dudes. Like it was like it just was like big guys who'd played for a while. Like some already playing senior ball, like an American. Like it just it just happens. There's obviously a difference in experience. Like the coaching has to be a bit slower in Uniball. But like if you watch Uniball games in the Prem, like while like across the whole field, it might not all be like senior ball level. Like there's at least individual battles in there where you're like, this is a guy. These are two guys who are on the GB squad, and obviously they're being matched up against each other.
It's entertaining to watch. I think that's the thing. It's like college. It's like in the States. The college football, in my opinion, and Uniball is more exciting to watch than senior ball. There's gonna be a lot of upset people from this video. There's gonna be a lot of upset and hurt egos. But it's
the analyst.
Listen, I'll say how it is. I think it's going to be a conversation. I think comes up more and more often. Is there that much of a gap between the two? Could Uniball, do I think UE could go up to Tamworth and beat Tamworth? Yes.
Yeah.
Brutally honest. Yeah. I think there's a lot of Uniball teams that could beat a team in the adult ball Prem easily. But that's a conversation that some people don't want to have yet. So we'll put that one away for a bit longer.
And also as a side note, I mean, like in Prem Uniball, like those Americans, they don't just make a difference like with their play individually. They do a lot of coaching, like a lot. Like they'll spot things that you'd never think to spot. Like in my first year, we had a left tackle from Dartmouth. And he taught me so much about blocking, about the mentality, the technique, but also just go out there, just be a dick. Like when you block, just you have to. He'd grab ends and like put them up, and he'd be like, you have to come hit this guy.
Yeah.
They teach you a lot. Like obviously like American QBs, the guys who've played their entire lives, like they throw the ball well, but there's
Yeah.
I don't think there's as big a gap as people think. There's a gap, but I don't think it's.
That's why.
Yeah. I mean, look how many people from Brunel played senior ball over summer.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Well,
what was it like playing with?
I didn't do that.
What was it like playing with? Obviously, I don't know if Eden you got a chance to play with Angus Cook. Because a lot of people you got get a chance to play with Angus Cook.
No.
Okay. So I won't go into that. Yeah, but he's one of the stalwart Durham legends, but QB legends. Okay, man. So obviously we're winding up, we're wrapping up. Obviously this session, and as is customary, we always have our 2-minute drill. 2-minute drills where we ask yourselves a question, and obviously you got 2 minutes to answer the question. You got no timeout, so you can't phone a friend. You can't call the timeout. You have no choice but to answer the question. If you don't, then you're a sucker. But anyway, we won't go into that. So, 2-minute drill. This one is particularly for you, Mr. Eden, seeing as you're the skipper. So, I could be wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong. Please confirm or deny. Is it true that either your brother or cousin was on TV and was a participant in dinner date?
That's
Confirm
true.
Or deny?
That's true. Yeah, my brother. Yeah, he was not just dinner date. The year before, he was on the Cabins on ITV.
He's one of them ones that's going to bounce on every show. You're just going to see it.
I know. So tell us about that. I don't know if you shared that experience with you.
The Cabins one, because that's the first one. I'll start there. That was interesting because we didn't really as a new show. It was their first season. We didn't really know what it was. We watched his episodes. We thought it was hilarious. Dinner date though, because we'd all seen Dinner Date before. We were very, very excited. Like he was asking us, he was like, "What do I cook?" I gave him some ideas. He was like, "Can we practice it like the day before?" Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
I saw even the other day, Jay's on dinner date.
Who?
Jay Jackson, he's on dinner date.
Is this a Blitz thing? All the Blitz players going on TV. You know, if you want to go on TV, join the Blitz, join the London Blitz, man. We'll make you celebrities overnight. But man, that's crazy. Because I saw him, I said, I'm sure that's Eden's brother. You got two brothers, right? Both played.
Three brothers.
Three brothers.
My twin and my oldest brother play.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Dope, man. So Matt, hold tight, man. You're gonna be on TV soon, bro. You're gonna be on TV soon.
I mean, I can only hope. I'm networking right now. I'm networking.
Yeah.
What would you want to go on? What show do you think we see you on? What show?
Yeah.
Are we getting on Love Island? Are we?
Oh no chance.
You wouldn't want to watch that much of Matt.
Oh no, you would not. Like, I just know any situation that will rely on like social skills, I just embarrass myself completely. Like, I'd be like the one that like people kind of just like take pity on after a while. It's like, oh, he's trying. I'll probably be honest. My dad's been on a quiz show before, so I think I'd do something like that. I think I'd do better on that anyway. It's a bit easier when you only have to like answer like A, B, or C.
Get on point.
Madness. Guys, man, it's been a pleasure, man. It's been a blast. It's cheered me up. Today's really cheered me up. So thank you for, like I said, coming on the show. Like I said, we're out here rooting for you. Wish you all the best. Like I said, Nottingham Gold. I hope that's a game you smash. We know you're probably going to smash Sterling, but the big game is obviously this Friday. So like I said, all the best for that game. We'll be watching as usual. Myself and Ashay will be watching. We might see if we can probably get down to Durham. We don't know. We're trying. We're looking up maybe.
Get down to Durham. Big man.
Be getting up to Durham.
It's a trek. It's a mission. I can't even lie. But like I said, guys, all the best for the season. Thank you so much for coming on the show. All those guys in the free seats, like I said, appreciate you tuning in. Like I said, continue to tune in. Also, we have our merchandise. So if you can see here, property of Exs and Os, we've got some merchandise. Yeah, so like I said, feel free to dabble in the comments and you'll see the link to our merchandise, courtesy of Football America UK. So like I said, for all those playing this week, all the best. Look after yourself. Keep healthy. Peace.